The dinner table is quiet. Everyone is eating. The food smells good. It is a normal evening. But normal evenings do not stay normal for long. Then a voice speaks. It is not Mom's voice.
It is not Dad's voice.
It is not anyone at the table. It is a robotic voice. It comes from Mom's phone.
David, don't forget, secret plan, Saturday.
Birthday party. Cake. Decorations. Don't tell Sarah. The table goes completely silent.
Mom stops moving her fork.
Tom's eyes go very wide. His mouth is open.
Grandma Betty slowly puts down her chopsticks.
Dad's face turns red. Very red.
Mom looks at the phone. Then she looks at Dad.
Dad looks at the ceiling. Nobody says a word. But the story started much earlier that evening. It started with a very normal Tuesday dinner. The sky outside was turning orange and soft.
Sarah was standing at the stove in the kitchen. She was stirring a pot of soup. Steam rose slowly. Mmm. The soup smelled warm and very good. She had been cooking for 40 minutes already. First the broth, then the vegetables, then salt and pepper. She tasted the soup carefully with a small spoon. She nodded once. Good, she said quietly to herself. She wiped her hands and looked at the clock. It was 6:15. Almost time. Tom, dinner is ready, she called upstairs.
A pause. Then fast footsteps. Then a door opening. Then the sound of someone running down the stairs. Tom appeared in the kitchen doorway, slightly breathless. He wore his blue shirt with the small stripes. His hair was messy. It was always a little messy. He was holding a small red toy car in his right hand. Is Dad home yet? Tom asked. He looked out the window.
He is parking the car. Go wash your hands.
Tom looked at his hands. He turned them over, slowly.
They look fine, he said. He seemed very sure.
Hands. Now, Sarah said. She did not look up.
Tom went to the sink. He turned on the water.
He held his hands under the water for 3 seconds. He turned it off. He looked at Sarah. Done, he said.
Did you use soap? Sarah asked.
Tom looked at the soap. It had not moved. He had not touched it.
I forgot, he said. His voice was very calm about this.
Use the soap, Sarah said.
Tom used the soap. He was more serious this time.
Can I still bring my car to the table? He asked. No cars at the table, Sarah said.
Tom looked at the car. He looked at the table. He sighed quietly.
He put the car on the counter. He moved it left.
2 centimeters to the left. He looked at it. He nodded.
That was better. Then he walked to the table. Sarah placed the soup on the table. Then the rice bowl. Then the vegetables. She straightened the spoons carefully. She moved the salt and pepper to the corner. She stood back and looked. Everything was in the right place.
The front door opened. David walked in smiling. He was still wearing his dark work jacket. His bag was over one shoulder. He looked a little tired, but his smile was real. "Something smells amazing," David said warmly.
Sit down. It is getting cold, Sarah said.
"Give me 1 minute," David said. He went to wash his hands. He came back wearing a soft blue sweater now. He sat down at the table. Sarah sat across from him. They shared a brief, warm look across the table. Grandma Betty came slowly from the living room. Small steps, careful steps, her soft gray sweater. She had a small book. She placed it on the side table.
Then she sat down quietly at the end of the table.
This soup looks wonderful, Sarah, Grandma Betty said.
Thank you, Betty. I added more ginger this time.
Grandma Betty lifted the soup lid. She smelled the steam slowly.
She nodded. Very good, she said. The family began to eat.
Tom talked about school. He talked about his friend Mikey.
Mikey had brought a very big orange to school today.
"How big?" David asked. He put his chopsticks down.
Tom put both hands together in a big circle shape.
"This big?" Tom said. "That is a very big orange," David said. Mikey shared it with 5 people, and there was still some left.
That is very generous, Sarah said.
He gave me the last piece, Tom said very proudly.
David listened and nodded. He looked happy to be home.
Sarah poured more soup for Grandma Betty quietly.
Thank you, dear, Grandma Betty said warmly.
It was a warm dinner. The ordinary, comfortable kind. The kind you remember later as something very good.
But Sarah's phone was sitting on the table, right next to her bowl, screen facing up. She was waiting for a photo from her sister Linda. The phone buzzed once. A short, quiet buzz.
Sarah looked at it, but both her hands were full.
Can you check that for me, David? My hands are full.
David looked at the phone. The screen lit up. He saw the name. His face went completely still for exactly 1 second. 1 second. Then his face was normal again. He reached for the phone. He turned it over quickly. Screen down. He set it back on the table. Gently. Then he picked up his chopsticks again. Very calmly.
Was it from Linda? Sarah asked lightly.
No, David said. Just work. Just work.
On a Tuesday evening? Sarah asked.
David said. Work birthday. Someone's birthday.
Sarah looked at David. David looked at his soup bowl. His soup bowl was very interesting to him suddenly.
Grandma Betty looked at David, then at the phone, then at her soup. She said nothing. She picked up her chopsticks.
Sarah looked at him. Then she picked up the phone.
It is my phone, she said gently.
David's ear turned slightly red. The left one.
Tom pressed the speaker button.
He thought he was helping.
The robotic voice started. Everyone at the table heard it.
Reminder for David, Saturday birthday party. Cake from Sunrise Bakery.
Blue and yellow star decorations. Guest list confirmed. Do not tell Sarah. The message ended. The table went completely silent. David brought his eyes slowly down from the ceiling. He looked at Sarah. Sarah looked at David. The silence was very loud. David cleared his throat. He picked up a piece of tofu. He put it back. He had not been hungry for tofu.
So, Sarah said. She did not say anything else yet.
David sat up a little straighter. He nodded once.
So, he said back. His voice was very calm.
Tom watched both of them very carefully.
He had both hands on his soup bowl.
What was that, David? Sarah asked.
David's eyes moved to the left, then to the right. He found nothing helpful in either direction. That, he said carefully, was a work thing.
A work thing, Sarah repeated slowly.
Yes, David said. Work. Birthday.
It said, "Do not tell Sarah," Sarah said.
David's left eye twitched. Very slightly. Just once. There is a Sarah at work, he said. Different Sarah.
Sarah blinked once, very slowly. A different Sarah, she said.
Yes, David said. Her name is also Sarah. Coincidence.
Tom's head swiveled from David to Sarah, like a small owl.
A work colleague, named Sarah, has a birthday. On Saturday.
Yes, David said. He had committed fully now.
And she uses your phone reminder app, Sarah said.
There was a long pause. David did not nod this time. She is very organized, David said finally.
Grandma Betty made a sound. It was not a word. It sounded like a small but a very knowing
David looked at Grandma Betty. She looked at her soup.
He got no help from that direction.
She looked at David again. Her eyes were very patient.
David, she said quietly. She waited.
David looked at the table, then at his hands, then at Sarah.
The different Sarah was a very bad idea, he said.
Yes, Sarah said. She was not smiling yet, but almost.
Tom was watching everything. He had very big eyes. Tom did not fully understand, but he understood some of it. He understood that Dad had said something that was not true.
And that it was about a birthday. But not just any birthday.
Tom looked at Mom's name on the phone message. Mom's birthday.
He understood. His eyes got very wide again. He looked at David. David looked at Tom. David gave Tom a very small, very careful look. The look said, "Please, do not say what you know." Tom thought about this for 3 full seconds.
He picked up his soup spoon. He stirred his soup.
He said nothing. For now, he was very proud of this.
Sarah was still watching David. Very patiently.
David picked up his soup spoon. He put it down again.
He looked at the tablecloth. He took a breath. "Okay," he said. He looked at Sarah. "There is no work birthday," David said quietly.
Sarah nodded once. She waited.
"There is no difference, Sarah. There is only one Sarah."
Sarah's arms came fully uncrossed, very slowly. She put both hands flat on the table. She looked at him.
Tell me, she said. She was not angry. She was curious.
Tom put down his soup spoon very carefully.
He folded his hands in his lap. He leaned slightly forward. Grandma Betty moved her soup bowl 1 centimeter to the left. She was listening very carefully. She looked at her bowl. "I was planning something," David said, "for your birthday this Saturday."
Sarah blinked. A different blink this time. Much softer.
For me? She said, very quietly.
"For you," David said simply.
Tom made a very small sound. It was a good sound.
Grandma Betty looked up from her soup briefly.
She gave the faintest nod. She went back to her soup.
You were going to surprise me? Sarah said.
He nodded. Small. Honest. His ears were still red.
Sarah looked at the red ears. She looked at his hands.
She looked at the man who planned a party for her and panicked, she said. She was smiling now.
Yes, David said. He looked at the tablecloth. A little. Sarah made a sound. It was a warm sound. Tom watched his parents. His eyes were very warm now. He picked up his soup spoon again. He felt happy.
The table was warm and quiet, just the four of them.
But the evening was not quite finished yet.
Tom had been very quiet.
He had been very good. He had held the information for a very long time now. The information was very heavy, very important. A long silence settled over the whole table again.
Grandma Betty was looking at the wall, very calmly.
Her spoon was in her hand. She was not eating, just holding it.
Tom felt something very important was happening right now.
He had one more thing to say. It felt very important.
Dad, Tom said. David closed his eyes slowly. For one full second. He opened them again. Yes, Tom, he said quietly.
Didn't you ask me to hide the birthday candles in my room?
The room stopped. The air itself seemed to pause.
David's chopsticks fell onto the table with a small clink.
Grandma Betty laughed. A quiet, warm, unstoppable laugh. She covered her mouth, but her shoulders were shaking.
Tom looked around. He saw Dad's chopsticks on the table. He saw Grandma Betty's shoulders shaking. He saw Mom's face.
He had more helpful information to share.
I still have them, Tom said, very helpfully.
The birthday candles. They are under my pillow right now. David put his face in both his hands. Both of them. Tom, he said. His voice came from behind his hands. Thank you, David said. He did not sound thankful at all.
He sounded like a man watching his very last hope disappear.
Are you okay?
Are you okay, Dad? Tom asked with genuine concern. I am fine, David said, still from behind his hands. You look tired, Tom said helpfully.
I am a little tired, David agreed. From behind his hands.
Sarah looked at David's hands over his face. Her arms were still crossed, but something was changing. The corner of her mouth was moving, upward, just a little,
Then a little more. Then a little more than that. So, Sarah said, there is no work birthday.
David lifted his head slowly from his hands. He took one slow breath. He sat up straight. He looked at Sarah directly. His eyes were honest now. No, he said quietly, there is no work birthday. I was planning a birthday party for you, David said, for Saturday. I wanted it to be a real surprise. I had a plan. I made a list. I checked it 3 times. I asked Tom to keep the candles safe under his pillow.
I asked Grandma Betty to help confirm the cake order.
Grandma Betty nodded once, slowly, gently, without a word.
I called Linda this morning.
She said yes, right away.
She is coming with all the kids, David said. I was going to put up decorations on Friday night. Tom was going to help me. We had a whole system. There are paper stars, Tom said, blue and yellow ones.
And I already paid for the cake, David said.
It has strawberries on top. You always ask for strawberries.
Sarah was quiet for one long, still moment.
I do always ask for strawberries, she said very softly.
I know, David said. He looked at her. It was a good plan, he said. I really thought it was. He looked at Tom. Tom gave him a small, loyal nod.
It was a really good plan, Tom confirmed.
Dad worked on the plan for 2 whole weeks, Tom said.
He wrote everything in his blue notebook, Tom added.
David closed his eyes briefly. Tom, he said gently. You can stop now, David said.
Oh, Tom said. He picked up his soup spoon again.
A silence followed. But this one felt completely different.
Not the silence of someone caught in a lie. The silence of something completely true being said out loud.
Sarah uncrossed her arms. She looked at David. Then, Tom. Then Sarah started to laugh. A real one. From her chest. Your face, she said. When the phone started talking, you looked straight up at the ceiling, Sarah said, laughing.
I was thinking, David said. You were panicking, Sarah said.
And then you said it was a different Sarah, she said.
That was my best idea at the time, David said.
It was not a good idea, Sarah said, wiping her eyes.
I panicked, David said simply.
I know, Sarah said. Grandma Betty picked up her spoon. The soup is still warm. We should eat before it gets cold, Grandma Betty said.
I pressed the button, Tom said. Very, very proudly.
Yes, you did, David said. You helped a lot, Tom.
Were you really going to surprise me? Sarah asked quietly.
I was, David said. I had everything ready.
The cake is already paid for. It has strawberries on top.
Sarah was quiet for one moment.
The party is still on Saturday? She asked.
If you still want it, David said.
I want it, Sarah said.
I will call Linda tonight, David said.
I will tell her the surprise is gone, but the party is still happening.
She will laugh, Sarah said. She will laugh a lot, David agreed.
Can I still put the candles on the cake?
Tom asked.
Of course, Sarah said. Tom smiled a huge, happy smile.
Good. Because I practiced already, Tom said. And
I
put the candles under my pillow 14 times, Tom said.
14 times, David repeated slowly.
I want it to be fast, Tom said. Very seriously.
Grandma Betty laughed. She did not try to hide it this time.
David picked up his chopsticks. He shook his head slowly, but he was smiling. A real warm smile.
So the surprise is gone, Sarah said.
Yes, David said. The dinner table was full of good warm noise now.
Sarah picked up the phone. She looked at the screen.
I am going to save this message, she said.
Please don't, David said.
I am definitely saving it, Sarah said. She put the phone down. I will play it every single year on my birthday, she said.
David groaned. A long, quiet, helpless groan.
It is the most romantic message I have ever received, she said.
A robotic voice talking about cake and decorations, David said.
The most romantic, Sarah repeated. She smiled at him.
It was a warm smile. A real, full, genuine smile.
Tom raised his spoon proudly into the air above his bowl. I pressed the button, he announced to the whole table. We know, everyone said. All together, at the same moment.
Tom looked very satisfied. He put his spoon in his soup.
Same time on Saturday? Grandma Betty asked calmly.
Same time, David said.
I will make the salad, Grandma Betty said.
I will put on the candles, Tom said with great pride.
I will act surprised, Sarah said. David looked at her.
You do not have to act surprised, David said.
I know, Sarah said. But I want to.
She reached across the table. She put her hand on David's hand. Thank you, she said quietly, for the plan, even the robotic part.
David turned her hand over. He held it gently and quietly. Next time, I will turn off the speaker, he said.
Please do, Sarah said.
They both smiled at the same time.
Tom looked at their hands, then at his soup, then Grandma Betty.
Grandma, Tom said, "Can I have more rice, please?"
Of course, she said. She put more rice in his bowl.
Tom smiled. A small, simple, happy smile.
Outside, the sky was dark now. The orange was completely gone. But inside the house, the light was warm and yellow and soft. 4 people, 1 table. A bowl of still warm soup.
A phone with one very important saved message on it.
And birthday candles waiting under a pillow upstairs.
Grandma Betty looked around the table one last time.
She looked at everyone. She did not say anything.
She simply smiled and picked up her chopsticks.
The soup was still warm. The rice was still on the table. And somewhere upstairs, under a blue pillow,
14 birthday candles were waiting for Saturday.
waiting quietly and patiently for Saturday to come.